recording. And hey, Cathy Hunt, what classroom did you want to go to? Cathy Hunt, you are muted. If you unmute and tell us where you want to go, I'll make sure you get to the right room. Right now, you are in the MyLion reporting your service. And you're still muted. There we go. Where would you like to be?
She's muted again. Did you mute her?
No, I sent her the ask to unmute and she unmuted briefly.
There
There she
she is.
is. Cathy Hunt, where would you like to be? Hello? Cathy Hunt, where would you like to be? Hey, there's her video. Cathy Hunt, tell us what room you're supposed to be in. What class are you taking?
Use computer audio.
Is my audio not on? No, my audio's on.
Does she have her computer audio button?
I don't know. Cathy Hunt. Well, I guess we'll just let her hang out then.
She can't hear you either.
I guess not. Maybe she doesn't have her speakers on. But a Zoom isn't very fun if you can't hear it.
Depends on who's talking.
I don't know. Let's go back over to the chat and repost the message from earlier, just with session 2. So there is session 2. We'll repost it to the chat. And maybe she'll get where she needs to go. Practice. It always takes practice. With everything we do, it takes practice. Like I said in one of the other rooms when we were having technical difficulties, it's all about leadership and it's all about how we handle it when things go sideways.
She just messaged.
Uh-oh.
I can't hear anything.
Is your speaker? Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So it's not me, it's.
Both of those people have heard that.
Yeah. Cathy. I cannot hear you if you are muted. You cannot hear me if your speaker is off. Oh, well, let's give that a second there, and then we'll go back to the slideshow.
She might have to click computer audio.
Oh. Well, since she does seem to be having trouble finding the mute unmute, she might be having trouble finding the. I got it fixed, she says. Okay, good. I'll go ahead and close that. No other chats down there. We are recording all of this fun chit chat. I can fix that later. And then let's see. From the beginning. At the beginning of time, there were no lions. And then someone said, we should have lions. We should do great things in our communities. I'm running on 150,000 volts right now because I've been doing all of the setup, all of the coordination. And then they said, oh, and by the way, you're teaching a class. So I asked Roger Bossi if he could do my tech support job at the moment and just run it over and check with the other presenters. And so as long as those are flowing and as long as Nancy can back up Roger, then I can stand right here.
Well, I'm just trying to get Dave going. So.
Otherwise, we're going to tap somebody in. You want to teach my lion?
No.
Okay. So my name is Cathy Koning. In addition to presenting this and helping coordinate the event tonight, I am also a zone chair this term and the newsletter editor and the IT chairperson.
Yeah, really good lion.
This is my 20th year as a Lion. And when I joined in the Grand Rapids Lions Club back in 2001, I was the youngest Lion there. in my mid-20s, and we would stand around the piano and sing old-timey songs, and then the meeting would get started. But that was a 2-hour thing. I had to leave work, I had to go to lunch and socialize and have some fun, and then get back to work. And my boss said, you can't be taking 2-hour lunches, it looks bad for everybody else. So I got to go to meetings when I would take the afternoon off. So I would just leave work at 11:30 and not come back in the afternoon. I would just take vacation time. So I didn't go to very many meetings my first couple of years, but I did have fun at the park after the meeting since I had the afternoon off. I'm still learning new things about lions. Those who were in the first session can probably name one of the things tonight that I learned. And we're all learning. And so no one's expected to know everything. And when they first introduced MyLion to do time reporting a couple of years ago, it was a mess. There was glitches in the software. It didn't work right. It was a separate login to go into MyLion versus lionsclubs.org. And so I had 2 different passwords to keep track of. And now it's under one system. It's flowing a lot better. And so show of hands, who has been reporting their time through MyLion? Okay. We might call you up if I get called away. So let's go ahead and look at the reasons why MyLion was developed. To plan, invite, share service. You can actually go into MyLion and see the service projects that people are doing around the world. So if you're ever at a loss for a service project or an activity, you can go kind of search the world and see what looks good, what looks like fun. Kind of like the MyLion magazine that shows up at your house. Sometimes it's nice just to flip through and look at the pretty pictures, and maybe you read one article, but open it up, see what's in there. And it helps to bring us together as a worldwide organization. A lot of times people know what their club is doing, but it's good to know what your district is doing. It's also kind of fun to know what's going on internationally. And so it's available anywhere from any device, electronic devices, not Etch-a-Sketch. So you can do it on your phone, you can do it on your computer, you can hide from the camera while Terry tries to record you. You can download it. How many people have installed the MyLion app on their phone? How many people want to pull out their phones and install it right now?
It's easier to do on your phone than it is on the computer for yourself.
Oh,
Yeah.
This one will be easy. Put that back in your pocket. It's available on electronic devices that connect to the internet and have apps, not a flip phone.
Had to get your back.
Oh, rotary phone at home. I grew up with rotary phones. Yeah. You still do?
I have a rotary phone.
As your primary?
Yeah, it's a home phone.
Nice. Nice job.
It was my father and mother's phone from the
Okay.
60s.
Yeah.
That works.
Thank you for sharing.
Now, getting started. How many people log into lionsclubs.org? How many people have never logged into lionsclubs.org? You getting into it? Okay, good. How many? I didn't see over here the responses. Who's never logged into lionsclubs.org, to the Lion? Okay. In order to do that, you have to have your member ID. You can get your member ID from your club secretary, from the printouts at the front door, or from the back of your Lion magazine.
That's what Cathy learned tonight.
That's what I learned tonight. That on your mailing label for your MyLion magazine, or the Lion, whatever it's called, your Lion magazine that gets mailed to your house, on the address label is your member ID. And you need your member ID for the registration form.
But you can get it here tonight too.
Yep, or you can get it here tonight by stopping by the main desk. I printed out the entire district membership roster. not just the roster book that shows all the leaders, but all of the future leaders. So I printed out the entire roster book, so that way if anybody showed up tonight who didn't pre-register, I didn't want it like a finite list. I wanted it to be wide open. So we can look up anybody's number. Maybe your magazines disappear, maybe the mailman doesn't bring them to you. So if you can't look on your address label, we can still get it to you. Yeah, that's an interesting one. So in the secretary class that was just before this, they talked about how the secretary can pull up the cards and print them. My club hasn't printed cards in 10 years. So it's on my to-do list because obviously we are failing on that. But we should be able to carry around our club cards.
Can you show us how to do that tonight?
We could if we have time. And I think we'll have time.
We so low and I couldn't get it.
Okay, well, you can log in on my computer at the end of this training and we'll give it a try. If you know your password.
A password?
If you know it, you don't have to tell me.
Okay.
Okay. So then once you're registered, then you log in and it has this landing page now. It used to take you right in and it would show you all the what's going on and the, you know, the pretty stuff. But now it stops and it says, you gotta pick one. What would you like to do? And so my LCI is used by the club administrators. That's where we keep track of the membership information. If someone moves, changes phone numbers, changes email addresses, that's a big one. People change email addresses or they wrote it out and it looked like a dot, but it was really an underscore. Or they wrote it as a dash, but it was really an underscore. You know, so secretaries try really hard to get that information input correctly, but sometimes they were given incorrect information or handwriting, just handwriting. So my LCI, it's important to try and find out everybody's correct contact information so that we can all be in the loop. So how many in this room received the September newsletter, district newsletter? You got the email for this September?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. So we're still working out the kinks as to who should receive it historically, and it's the easiest thing to do for the district secretary to send it out to all of the club presidents and secretaries. We've also added, I think, treasurers and zone chairs, and then they have to forward it to their club members. But we have some presidents who don't do email. So now if the president didn't receive it, it's all on the secretary. Well, what if neither one does it? So then none of those club members receive the newsletter or any other upcoming event notifications. So communication is obviously one of my things, and that's what we're doing here with LCI and with MyLion, is communicating our activities to our fellow Lions. And so I'm open for feedback on better ways to reach everybody. And definitely, if you haven't received a newsletter in a couple months, I've only sent out a September one. The July one was simply a notification that we were doing banner exchange. So we're working out some kinks. So let me know if you don't get the September newsletter from your president or secretary, and we need to work out some kinks on our dispersal. So tonight we are choosing MyLion. And when you first log in, it shows you some stats. My club isn't doing very good on reporting. My club is doing terrible on reporting. We have donated funds this year to projects we sponsor, but we probably haven't gotten around to an LCIF donation yet this year, which is what this records. Or is that dollars to organizations?
For anything.
For anything. So we haven't even recorded our spring donations. We donated, $1,000 or something to 10 different community organizations in the spring. And so we didn't report that, and we should.
Yeah, I think that figure is gonna be yearly total, so it's gonna start July 1st.
Oh, oh, good, we get a bypass or a buy for spring. But we've got Parade of Checks coming up. How many people are gonna be there at Fall Conference Parade of Checks? Yeah,
Not if you're gonna criticize my hat.
as a Lion officer, I am required to confiscate
Giving you a
that
hard
hat.
time.
And I am letting you take it home with you.
Good, because I got 20 more like it.
So yeah, so my club needs to do better. And so when you have an activity, you can go through, and so this one here says club meeting for September, reported by Cathy Koning. And then there's service hours recorded in there. And we also did a volunteer project at Alpha House, which is a center for mothers and children in transition, you know, whether from homelessness or wherever they're coming from. It's a landing pad before they can get back into some independent housing. So, you know, we every year we donate to the Thanksgiving baskets. And so that shows up here as signature activity, because that's a checkbox on the form. So if it's something that you're really well known for, it's something you always do, you know, the Blissfield reverse raffle. That's normally a signature activity that didn't really happen in 2020. Oh, that's right, I did. I just didn't win.
Yeah, sorry. Question.
Everybody.
I got a question on the activities though.
Yeah.
Do they ever delete those off? I mean, ours go back forever.
That would be good for them to go back forever, so we can see your trends.
Okay.
I don't know, do we have the rights to go back and delete something? Like maybe it was missing.
That option's not there.
We'll have to look.
So there's years and years of activities on our.
Can you take notes for me there, and flip it over and write, can we delete? Here.
I got it.
No
Thank
one's ever said the word delete.
Can we delete from MyLion?
Can I ask you that when you asked the question about who can post, yes, all of you as individuals should be, your president and your secretary can post for the club, and that's where you saw that first metric. Does that show up even on your individual?
Well, now here's how, I'm still trying to understand the magic of it all, but it's my understanding that anybody, any Lion can report through their MyLion application on their phone. So while you're out there raking leaves, you simply submit it, and then your secretary has to process it, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it will go into there,
All
because
right.
you're gonna be registered onto this page. Then your secretary downloads it.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
good to know.
so on
Yeah.
this one right here where it says,
Submitted and then,
Yeah,
so where it says reported, that green little magic button right there
Yeah.
is not there automatically. If you, we'll get to the screen later where it shows it, but if you type it all in and you say save as draft, no one can see it but you. If you submit it and you're just a regular Lion, then your club secretary has to finish reporting it. So they have to see, they will see that, you know, but I mean, how many regular members are gonna do it? No, you put them in a leadership position, they can do it themselves. No, what was your other question? Okay. It also allows you to chat, have conversations with Lions around the world. And I haven't used this one. Has anybody used this one? But through Facebook, there's some Facebook groups like the Global Lions Forum. Is anybody a Facebook group member of the Global Lions Forum?
that's
That-
a really good group to
Mhm.
join.
People ask some really good questions out there.
For training purposes, it's very,
Global Lions Forum. I think that's what it's called.
yes, it is.
Yeah. So Global Lions Forum. And people ask really good questions from around the world. And so there was one about the logo, but there's been other ones. And so there was a Lion, he and I were agreeing on a point, and then he sent me a message, a Facebook Messenger message. And so we started chit-chatting. It was like 2 a.m. here, but he was in Scotland. So he was up having breakfast.
what are you doing up 2 in the morning?
Oh, I'm up at especially in the middle of winter, because I do gardening for a living. And so I do gardening and then some handyman kind of things for people. But because of the COVID winter, everybody shut down their houses. And if their house was open, I probably didn't want to go in there anyway. So, yeah, I was retired for December, January, February. I could stay up for 2 days and then sleep for 2 days if I wanted to. So we want to plan our activities, report on them, and then celebrate our successes.
And
How am I doing on my time?
your
Okay.
service activity isn't complete until you've reported it. That's how we have to get it instilled in our minds. Once you do your roadside work, then you get the information to your secretary, the secretary puts it on, then your activity is complete. That's kind of the mentality they want us to kind of get to. Then you know it's a 3-part thing. The president, whoever is doing it.
Right.
Yeah,
It's kind of like doing up the financial report after a fundraiser.
yeah.
How much money did that fundraiser make?
Mhm.
Sure, you took in $1,000, but what was your overhead? But this isn't treasurer class. But we are a service organization, and so doing projects is what we do. And so if you do a fundraiser, sure, you took in 1,000, but how much did you make? And that shows whether it's a good fundraiser. Something you want to do again, how can you tweak it to make it more
Efficient,
efficient or
profitable.
profitable? There we go.
If I go down and get you those membership sheets, would that help you to get your membership numbers?
Yes.
Would you like?
Well, at the end, they can stop by and pick it up. Because if we do it in the middle here, we won't make it to the end of the presentation. Thank you for offering though.
Okay.
Okay, so it walks you through and it says, what sort of thing are you reporting? Service project, fundraiser, meeting, or donation? So you pick your thing. And so if you're doing a service project, the next screen will then say, what type of service project is it? Is it, what's that?
I was asking who who's taking notes.
Oh,
No, I'm putting it in memory. But
yeah.
I'm not gonna be the secretary after tonight, just the treasurer.
But so the service project, so there's key projects, that humanitarian efforts and feeding the poor, things like that, that Lions have as key projects. And then there's other, maybe you just did crayons for kindergartners or something. I'm sure that falls under some category, but fundraiser, meeting, or donation. And so that's something that someone mentioned a little while ago, is that every time you go to a Lions meeting, you are volunteering your time. I never thought about that.
This right here is considered, should be.
Well,
marked down.
Yeah, this right here is service hours. Going to your regular club meeting is service hours. If you're a club president and secretary, treasurer, and you're doing work at home to prepare for the meeting or following the meeting, those are service hours. You're not getting paid for them, but if we wanted to show statistically how big of an organization we really are and how much work we're really doing. It's one thing to say we're in over 200 countries and 1.4 million people, but how much work are we doing? How much impact are we having on our communities? And that's the sort of thing that when people, like, I'm sure you do that too. You get a mailer at Christmas time from another nonprofit who thinks a calendar is worth a really hefty donation, but you want to know why they're important. What is their impact? What is our impact? What are we doing? So we want to make sure that we share that and that we report that.
It concerns me all the hours that we put in and nobody's documenting.
Right.
My mind is just like blown right now.
You left a lot of pennies on your sidewalk, but you could go back and report them, because one of the things, let me jump up here. Right there, report past activity. So let's jump back over here. And okay, so we picked service project and we start to fill in the information. Oh, that was not a service project. That one is, and this is funny too, because I had picked report past activity. And this is supposed to tell us where we are, and it's wrong. When I was doing report past activity, it was underlining plan future activity. They've got a glitch in their software. That's my background, is quality assurance. So.
Can I make a suggestion? When you go to your clubs, like, we have a sheet that, at the beginning of the meeting, everybody turns in their service hours. If they're not logging it in themselves, they're giving it into the secretary or whoever's doing it. It doesn't have to be the secretary, it can be somebody else that's really computer literate. And so then, you know, someone just has it hanging on the refrigerator during the week, and you can write it down. And for your growth, you can write all that past stuff down, brainstorm at a meeting, bring it up, and have one person put it in. It's
What
not
club are you in?
lost.
Mission Center Lions.
Oh, okay.
It's not that, those hours aren't lost.
Yes, sir.
That's my question. Our folks are doing that collecting service hours, then how do they get that in here, or you have a list of each activity that you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of these hours are outside lines, like hospital, working at the hospital.
Right. And I think I would probably try and get around it a little bit. On the page where it says date of activity, I might put March 1st, but I'll report all my March hours. You know, something like that. I mean, if you volunteer at the hospital every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's a lot of activities to report.
So what you're saying is, though, if I'm the one at the hospital, I should be doing it, but if we're all working in the hospital, can our secretary put all that in?
Oh, yeah. Yep. The secretary would say, you know, group activity at hospital,
Okay.
but
That's
but
how they know
anybody,
how many people showed up.
but anybody can put it in. The secretary has to process it at the end. The secretary has to complete it, but anybody can submit it. That was the thing we were talking about over here with the green.
Yeah.
The green shows that the secretary,
So
or
that's what the
president.
secretary is seeing right there.
Actually, as president, I did it. So it's supposed to be the president, secretary, and service chair are supposed to be able to process them, to officially report them to Lions. So it doesn't have to be kick the secretary every time.
So if you got all these hours, this whole group's got different things that you did.
Yep.
So what, you got to put in specific thing in there? And what kind of activity?
Well, what sort of things are you doing?
I stuffed the bus.
Yeah.
Well, stuff the bus is a major activity, and it's
Yeah,
probably a
maybe-
signature
But you
activity.
got shopping, you have stuffing, you have,
Oh,
You're
but
talking
it's
about-
all one project, but but your committee
Well, I thought.
did
I misunderstood.
tasks.
I thought everybody in here did something different each week, then you go in and submit it. You'd have to have a title for it, but yeah.
Right. Well, her example, you know, maybe you guys weren't on the same page there.
Yeah, we got it coming up, stuff like that.
Yeah. So stuff the bus, all the work preparing it and after it distributing would all be one blanket umbrella, one activity.
Stuffed the bus.
But if you're combining other things, like I said, you know, I would probably say, yeah, I'd put in March 1st as my date, or, you know, October 1st is my date. And
They want the beginning date and the finish date.
October 1st from 7 PM to 8 PM, how many service hours?
Yeah.
50.
Yeah,
if you have, you got 10, 12, 15 people doing it, and you know, they each did 8 hours.
Yeah. We do
that.
the same thing with my a nonprofit in Saline, where we're cleaning up sections of the river, trying to get some of that dead wood out of there. And yeah, every month at the board meeting, I get asked, how many tons of wood did your team pull out of the river? Or, you know, how many service hours? And we had a team of 12 people, and everybody put in 4 hours. Plus there was my prep work, there was somebody else's prep work, and it all goes into one,
And
you
that
know.
can be counted as Lions work because of the environment. And
It
you're a
probably
Lion.
could,
Absolutely.
but then I feel like I'm getting credit twice.
Who cares?
Years ago, we used to clean up the road.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely environment, and definitely you need to.
And that clock is 10 minutes slow.
Yeah.
So it is club activity, it's not Kathy's activity or Joe's activity.
Right.
it's the club.
You are doing it
Yes.
as a Lion who is a member of a club.
Yeah,
But like in preparing for this, I had a couple marathon days of meetings, and so I put them in there,
Mhm.
but I put them in as district hours. Because I didn't do it on behalf of my club, I did it on behalf of the district. So, all right, we gotta zip forward a little bit here. So we put in our hours, we put in our time, and then we want to make sure that other people got credit for it. If it makes a difference to you who gets credit for it. And you can't really see it from way back there, but these buttons over here, you can select club, which puts every one of your club members into the I participated list. You can also then remove individual people if you want. You can add individual people. So say it was your entire club plus the district governor and plus, you know, a visiting ID or a PID from another district or something. So you can put all your club members plus those individual people. And then it really, really shows which dozen people put in the time. But I don't know how your club would use the metrics. For me, easier is better. But if you have a large club and you want to be able to say at the end of the year, which one of our members, you know, you're going for Lion of the Year or something, which one of our members showed up for every activity? That's where this list comes in. If you want to be able to look back and say who showed up, you just got yours on a scrap of paper, right?
Real quick, if we're cleaning up the river, Battle Creek, before marshal line show up to help,
Yep.
are they gonna log our hours and are we gonna double dip and also log them in?
That's something that the project manager has to clarify. So yeah, that comes up on the Global Lions Forum quite a bit.
That just is saying to Brian, hey, we're gonna put it in ourselves.
Yeah. So
We're
you
gonna
could,
put it in for our club.
so you could count them and, well, I mean, if you want to count them as club hours, but if you want the project to look really big and really good, then you kind of want to count them as project hours, and it's that club's project. You guys were guests on the scene,
But nobody's gonna look at.
But
specific-
it really depends on how you guys want your metrics to show. So then we make sure that we have all our people correct, or we can go back and edit it. It says location. I've been getting away with just putting in phone. And someone says, I thought you had to put an address. I can put my home address in there when I'm on a Zoom meeting. So if I'm on a conference call, I'm on a meeting, I literally just typed in Zoom or phone and then went on to the next field and it didn't yell at me. So I was really happy it didn't yell at me. And then that's it. So this club here, whew, they did a lot of hours. They served 18,000 people. Oh, it's our district. Look at that. And how much better could these numbers be if Ann Arbor Evening was reporting?
Or we are.
Or if Michigan Center Lioness was reporting. Yeah. So we could see those numbers double. And then someone says, wow, look at how much that district improved. Or how much they improved on the reporting.
Right.
One of my
Now the
goals,
secretary has to go in and do their part.
They have to press the button, basically to approve it. Yeah.
we want to see at least every club do one service project. To log in at least one service project. So that's 42 clubs doing it, at least one service project. So, you know, I know we can do it. It's just, you can't fear it. Once you get in and start pushing buttons around, it's easy. You just have to have your ID
We did
numbers
service
hidden.
project.
Those dollar numbers on there, there's 29,000, what is that standard fund, what?
Funds donated
Okay,
and funds raised. So
okay,
if you did fundraisers or, yeah, and it actually, confused me, a screen capture that Lorraine had sent me, it had, from her iPhone, it didn't have the field names, but when I looked at it on my phone, so I changed out the screen capture so that it was the ones from my phone instead of the ones she had sent me, because hers didn't have the field titles. So it had something USD, and then down below was something USD. I'm like, it was only one project. Why is there $2 figures?
Well, I think I had to take several screenshots, so I think the slides were progressive.
Yeah, I don't know. So it confused me that I swapped them.
You probably got it on your flip phone.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on his flip phone.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Okay, guys, let's see. What are we at? We're at 8 minutes to go if we end on time.
I feel bad. You
So
got double.
we're donating funds, that one of the icons that they have to start.
Yep, this is funds donated.
Right, but report that.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you do a
It's okay.
fundraiser, you would report how much you donated.
Like rated check.
Yep.
Yeah. How are we gonna report this?
For my club, I would simply pick fundraiser. Well, except it wasn't a fundraiser. It would be an activity. I would probably just record it as an activity. Our activity was to donate to local projects. And then that's how much we donated.
Do we still have people on Zoom?
Probably, but we got 7 minutes left. Let me finish this up. So if you log in on your phone, it looks a little bit different, but most of the fields are the same. You can still connect to everybody around the world. You can still look up other activities that people are doing. You can still capture the details such as the activity name, what if it was a global cause, location, start date, end date. And if you say you're reporting a past activity and you're currently sitting there on your sofa finishing it up and you worked on it from 7 o'clock and you know you're going to finish about 8 o'clock, but it's only 7:57, it won't let you put in 8 o'clock. I'm like, come on. Yeah, exactly. So I did those last 3 minutes for free, you know, so to speak. I had to clock out before I was really, really done because it wasn't in the past if I record a future time. So we got a couple other screen captures here, like this one here, Lions meeting for Takansha, but it says report, which means some member probably entered it in and the secretary has to poke the button because it doesn't say reported, it says report. So that probably still needs administrative approval. Yep, here's the one that has the dollar figures. See where it says the titles for the fields? And it has
another slide after that.
funds donated and funds raised. So
It could be the same.
it could be the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the ones that they didn't have the titles in that screen capture you sent me. And I was like, like, that's confusing. But this is good here. The activity has been added. So if you do a save as draft or something, or if you exit before you see this, you goof something up. If it disappears, start over. And let's see. Communicate. Okay, good. We finished the slideshow. I wanted to make sure we'd finish the slideshow. Does anybody want to see any more of these slides? Again, no.
I just want to emphasize that you should get every single member on the MyLion app. Most people don't have a flip phone, they have a smartphone.
Well, most people don't pay $18 a month for their phone.
Well, you can use a computer. You can use the computer at the library. There is no excuse not to report your service.
I see, Cathy, you taught me something in that when other members of my club put stuff in, all I have to do is go in and approve it. So I learned something from her. I gave her something tonight too. There you go.
Roger, how's it going? Okay, I think we're at 4 or 5 minutes here. Yep, 4 minutes if we're gonna end on time.
I know.
Question here and then question there.
Our district, we've got one club, our zone, we have one club. Secretary and neither president nor secretary uses a computer.
Well, supposedly the service coordinator can do it. So if you put that.
So you're gonna extend it, the treasurer does all the
So make the
online
treasurer also the service coordinator. that should grant them access to that extra.
The service chairperson position that we mentioned several times tonight should be put in your officers listing so that they get the access they need. Terry, we're still waiting for that switch to be turned on because I am the service club chairperson and I'm not able to report from the.
So that switch has not been turned on?
Yeah, for some reason, we can't see all the buttons we're supposed to see.
Service club chairperson, if you designate someone in your database as an officer.
Where?
then
Secretary
hopefully that
training.
will be
Oh my
another
gosh, can't
resource for
see.
putting this stuff.
Dave Hill is our district administrator, so he's the one that's doing all that computer stuff. So I will make sure that he looks
Yeah,
at
tell
that.
him you're the same permission the secretary.
Yeah.
That would be the only way to solve the one
Yes, absolutely.
problem.
Yeah,
And I think that's a year thing as new officers come in, that the switch has to be flipped.
okay.
Doing a great job.
Thanks.
Well, I'm so glad
Yeah.
that we have flipped the switch and that we're here tonight, you know, and
Oops.
And it's a question about the invite.
Mhm.
Get down there and who to invite,
Oh, we can actually try that.
okay?
Does anybody else have any questions before we go into actually logging in? Because we can do that afterwards if anybody has a, okay.
I
'Cause-
think if you're having a club meeting, you should be inviting your whole club.
I
Right,
think that's the default.
But if I'm doing a road cleanup and I know I've got these 10 people coming.
right. Plus you can do, that's one thing I forgot to mention.
Again, I put this in before the activity.
You can create before or you can report after.
So I could do a post report after activity, okay, because then you know who was there, right? Then you know
See,
how many people
hers has the
are
right logo.
there.
I don't know what happened to yours, like they inverted the colors or something.
I know.
All right,
Didn't
so I
pick the
sign
right
in,
one.
my computer remembers it, so I don't know what my password is. I'm kidding. It's the same password I use for something else, so Google thinks I'm a security risk, but I really don't care. Go ahead, break into my account. MyLion. Oh, look, we served more people and we donated some funds. Apparently, we've done some work since I checked the screen capture.
That was on your face page too.
What?
Same
Yeah.
metrics.
Ann Arbor evening. We're better than 000 now.
Yeah, even when you logged in, before you
Yeah,
went in,
right.
you put these metrics in there,
Yeah, it's right here on the home.
then on the homepage.
Yeah, when you log in, it shows your metrics.
Oh, okay.
And then, so I went to MyLion. And I'm going to create an activity. And what are we doing, a service project? Did I click it? Is it thinking? Did I not click it hard enough?
So you would do this for every meeting also?
Oh, you have to click continue.
Oh, there we go. I was waiting for the screen to do something. Continue.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's where you don't necessarily have to do every meeting, in my opinion. You could do them as separate activities, but, and it's not that long either. Or you could just group it at the end of the year and accumulate your hours, but it's more accurate if you put it in. So here it is, Ann Arbor evening activity, club meeting. And it says place isn't required, but we did it on Zoom. Address was also Zoom. And time zone, oh, come on, don't you know my time zone?
No, they.
Forget that. Service project, let's see if it knows my time zone over here. Okay. So here we got hunger, environment. Continue. Tree planting, clean water, sanitation, environmental awareness, education, recycling, other environmental cleanup and restoration.
clean water would be your project, right?
No, environmental cleanup and restoration,
Yeah.
because we're restoring the river.
Okay.
And, but, so I guess I'm a member of a club, so I guess it would be a club activity. And river cleanup. And then it says, is this a signature activity? Was it funded by an LCIF grant? You can just ignore those. They're not required, no little asterisk.
You gotta put the name in there.
Oh,
What you're going-
right. Maple, Celine. Go. That is the address for the Leslie Nietheimer Celine River Preserve. Where's the name? Oh,
They put it in.
I thought you meant activity name. Leslie, Neathhammer, Saline River Preserve. Okay. And
Kathy, this will pop up, like if you do this.
Oh,
project again, it'll
except-
Pop up, right?
Because you put the address
Yeah.
in first.
Yeah, there we
When
go.
you said Zoom.
It doesn't know where I am. Oh, an advantage to giving away my address. All right.
Yeah.
But now I picked future activity. So we've got one coming up on the October 2nd, and you guys are all welcome to come out and play in the river with us if you want. It'll be 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. See, post it out there for us, invite us all. Activity description, remove debris from river. We actually found a full-size trash can, one of those rollaway carts. Someone's recycle can ended up in the river one time. Who can see this? Everyone. And then I can invite my whole club. I can invite Battle Creek Cereal City. I can invite Blissfield, or I can just find some individuals, and we are going to see if Dick Saxton, Saxton, I always forget whether you got a T in there. There's John Saxton. Oh, look, it even found it with the wrong first name.
Yeah.
All right. So we're just going to invite John.
Oh, thanks.
And then we're going to come down here and say
Can I-
continue.
Can I edit that?
I believe you can decline the invite. All right. So here we have it. We're going to shovel check, make sure all the details are right, that we didn't start it at 10 p.m. and ended at 2 a.m. You know.
Your description has the wrong word in it.
Where's my
Just so you
description?
know, river debris. You checked river, not removed. Description.
Description, river debris from river. Yeah, river debris.
Yeah.
Remove river.
I don't know.
You said
It's-
remove and you typed river.
All right, let's go back. Let's go back
Just
again.
ignore them, I would.
No, you gotta go all the way back.
It's right here. Remove debris from river. Continue. Oh, look, John's still there. Continue.
Decline.
Can submit. You are finished. Your activity has been created and your invite sent. All right. So then I can look at it here. And so like maybe I want to look at district projects, past district projects.
You go in there. Full of.
And so
photos of
I
your
can look
class.
and see all the district projects that people have reported. Roberta Sexton created one for childhood cancer. Amy Shepherd created one for Yarn for Cancer. Amy Shepherd also did one for Delana Center meal serving, but there's not very many in here for district projects.
Okay,
We'll have to make sure
We
that
gotta
we
work
are
on
in there
this.
for-
go back for activities then.
How does it invite him? Does it email him and say, hey, you're invited?
I don't know. You got email on your phone?
I think it'll show up as a message
Good.
in his
On mine?
MyLion.
Well,
So you'll have to check.
So if I click on this,
Exactly.
edit, copy, but it's a
I don't
future
get
activity.
tired, though.
All right, we are over time. Anybody?
Yeah, you did a great job.
Yes, we
Thanks.
did.
Down on my knees for all of you.
Decline my invite.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome. Bye, Mike.
Okay.
Bye, Jerry. Bye, Kathy.
Bye. How I have to. Reject one.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I have-
Hang on. Roger. Hey, Roger.
Yeah.
Can you grab presentations from people? I brought my external hard drive.
I've got an extra one.
Maybe when you
Yeah.
get a new light.
So, once a year, you get back home.
Are you?
When you go on.
Oh.
Or-